Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining us. We are delighted to have you with us for what promises to be an insightful and engaging conversation. At SCAI, one of our key priorities is to foster a culture of continuous learning within the shopping center industry. We believe that best ideas emerge when industry leaders come together to share their experiences, challenges, and success stories. Through our webinars, masterclasses, and leadership conversations, we strive to create opportunities for meaningful dialogue that inspires innovation, strengthens capabilities, and helps raise industry. It's now my privilege to introduce our distinguished guest, Mr. Rajneesh Mahajan, a highly respected leader in the retail and shopping center industry. He is also the author of the acclaimed book, Simple, Not Easy, which reminds us that while the principles of success are often simple, putting them into practice consistently requires commitment, discipline, and perseverance. Rajneesh is the CEO of Inorbit Malls, one of India's most respected shopping mall brands. With a distinguished career spanning nearly 3 decades, he has built extensive expertise across retail, shopping malls, and consumer-facing businesses. He began his professional journey with Barista Coffee Company, where he played a key role in driving the company's expansion before moving into operations and serving as regional manager West. He later joined Cushman and Wakefield as executive director retail services, further strengthening his expertise in retail strategy, leasing, business development, and creating customer-centric retail experiences. In 2009, he joined Inorbit Malls as Vice President Leasing. Through his strategic vision, leadership, and commitment to excellence, he rose to become the CEO and has successfully led the organization for over 11 years, playing a pivotal role in shaping the modern shopping mall industry in India. Widely regarded as one of the most respected leaders in the Indian mall industry, he is known not only for his business acumen, but also for his people-first leadership style. He is a team builder, mentor, and guide who believes that great organizations are built by nurturing great leaders. He empowers his teams, encourages innovation, and creates an environment where individuals can grow, contribute, and excel. His acclaimed book, Simple, Not Easy, is a practical guide for professionals and business leaders. In it, he shares a powerful philosophy. Lasting success in retail and business does not come from flashy innovations or complex strategies, but from the disciplined and consistent execution of simple fundamentals. Drawing on real-life experiences rather than management theories, the book offers valuable lessons and actionable insights for professionals across industries. Today, we have the opportunity to learn from a leader whose journey exemplifies the power of simplicity, discipline, and people-centric leadership. Dear participants, please feel free to post your questions in the chat window throughout the session. We will take them up during the Q&A segment at the end of the session. So, friends, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Rajneesh Mahajan. It's pleasure having you in our session, Rajneesh. Before we
Thank you,
delve
Anjeev.
before we delve into discussion, please tell us what prompted you to write this book.
Anjeev, I've been asked this question so many times and I still not been able to perfect my answer about it.
No,
It's been
but you
so
have
many
written
things.
a wonderful book.
Thank you. It's been multiple things that led to one my uh, journey, and learning during this journey has been uh, thanks to all my colleagues and industry leaders who we interact with, and every interaction has been a source of new learning, new strategy, what works, what doesn't work, and beyond what works, what doesn't work, why it works and why it doesn't work. So I think I'm having a very, very privileged association with the industry leaders where we delve into these discussions, and that became a very enriching resource for gathering the right information, differentiating India environment with the rest of the world. Most of the global brands look at India and they look at it from the size and they look at it from the consumption parameters, but the difference comes out of the social fabric. The difference comes out of the social needs, different ways in which we live our life, the different priorities that we have. So much was there in discussions. It was there in thoughts. It was there in mind. It was discussed. So the idea came to put it together in one book or one form. I started thinking about it 8-9 years back, and as I say, it is 9 years of courage, 1 year of hard work. It took me some lot of courage to stick out my neck and say, okay, this is how it works, and wanted to be very sure. I want to test it out before I put it down on a pen and paper and put it in a book. And last 1 year, I really got my team together to, put it together as a piece of work. So it was interesting, and I feel blessed that people who have been able to read it, they have come back with very good feedback. They have really liked it. They have found the instances, strategies, and the topics very relatable, and that response is very, very encouraging, very rewarding.
See, frankly speaking, it's a Gita for the industry professionals. Very well written. And
thank you, Anjeev. I don't believe it is such a marvel piece, but
no,
of course,
no.
of
But
course,
I'm speaking the truth. I am telling you. I have read that book. I read this book. It's a wonderful, and you have written it in a very simple language also. And I think everyone, not only in the shopping mall industry, people who are associated with the retail industry, they should also read it. Now, let's start our session, Rajneesh. So, your book, Simple Not Easy, makes a powerful point that success lies not in complexity but in disciplined execution. In retail, everyone knows the fundamentals: the right product, the right price, the right place, and the right customer experience. If the recipe is no secret, why do so many retailers fail to get the basics right consistently? And what, in your experience, truly separates the winners from the rest? This is my first question, sir.
Anjeev, your first question is like combination of multiple questions. Uh, let me divide it into 2-3 parts, and so that I can do justice to what I'm trying to say. Retail is a simple business. It nurtures on the human need uh, of clothing, of food, of experiences, of entertainment, and these are serving the basic human needs, and hence uh, you get the product right, which means it is meeting the need of the society. You price it well, in a sense that everyone is a value seeker, irrespective of at which price point you consume. You are a value seeker. I may seek value at a 200 rupee t-shirt, or I may seek value at 20,000 rupee t-shirt or 2 lakh rupee t-shirt. But no matter at what price point you buy, you're seeking a value. You're paying for a value, and you're always evaluating the product pricing with the value that you associate with the product. Sometimes with the brand logo, sometimes with the quality of the product, sometimes with the social stature, and sometimes you are willing to pay higher value because of the need at the junction at which you are standing and you need that product. Like certain airports can charge premium because there is a limited supply there, or in a movie theater you end up paying some premium because there's a supply constraint. So I say situation is more to do with the place at which there is a monopoly or control over the supply. And then of course you need to reach the consumer, which is the placement of the product. And when multiple people reach consumer, the experience also becomes a differentiating point to convert a product from need to want, because consumer need to start wanting your product, and that's where the brand is built. I call it a simple business because we all might have seen, some of our neighbors, they run small scale retail businesses from their home. They curate merchandise, they invite their friend circle and then sell the product. They have mastered that art of understanding the curated product which goes into their neighborhood. There are people who have started from the comfort of their home a retail business by sourcing designs, by sourcing products from various manufacturers across the globe, tied up with the e-commerce platforms, and they're running that business. So it is not a business with very high entry level barrier. If you want to get into manufacturing, you need a very large resource of land, you need labor, you need technology, you need capital investment. So other businesses like hospitality, food and beverage, or any other business has very high barrier in terms of investments, in terms of resources required, in terms of technology required. On the other hand, retail, with the ecosystem available, has a comparatively very low entry barrier. You can source designs, you can source your products, you can source logistic, and you can be a retailer. Online D2C brands, we have seen so many different products come onto the market so quickly. Any other industry, you will not find so many new players coming in, or so many new players being able to scale so quickly as it can happen in retail. Some of the decade-old companies have made it very large. They came with a distinguished product. So retail comparatively has a low entry barrier and is a simpler business in terms of technology requirement, and hence the term floated, that is a simple business. In my mind, it doesn't take too much of complexity. What makes it different is difficult, or what makes it not easy. This term, first time when I started enjoying this term, simple not easy, was actually an interaction with a surgeon. And we were talking about, he was my neighbor, and we were sitting, there was a power off, and we were all out in our balconies and we were chit-chatting. The first time I really started enjoying this term, simple not easy, was in an interaction with a surgeon. And he was talking about two extreme cases of surgery, in which one was like 15-20 minute surgery, but very complex because it was spine, and the complexities and the caution and the care required was much more. And then on the other side, he was having a 3-hour long surgery, which was tedious because of the layering, but was not a complex surgery. The skill, the technology required was comparatively easier for that one. And hence that term came. Sometimes things are simple, not easy. Like a 15-minute surgery, you may believe you move in and you move out very quickly. And sometimes you feel is a very, very long process, but actually is a very simple process. So, that's the origin of this term in my mind. and it is coming out of interaction with the surgeon, that how sometimes things look very very complex but they are easy, but sometimes things look very easy but they are very very difficult to keep them simple in that term. So if you look at on the buying side of retail, is huge amount of human emotion involved. Uh, it is not only the buying capacity of a consumer, but is the buying preference of the consumer. It is the lifestyle of the consumer. It is the social circle of the consumer, the other environments which may make that customer gravitate towards a particular product, or may not gravitate that customer towards a particular product or a price point. A lot of time we see consumer as a buying power, but consumer is far bigger than buying power. There are lifestyles behind it, there are social needs behind it, the peer pressure behind it, uh, which community, which social circle I belong to also impacts my buying behavior. And if you see one of the example that I have given in my book is of a neighbor that I happened to observe in Gurgaon while I was picking up my son from the bus that will drop him at the gate. And her instance that she was carrying a Louis Vuitton bag on a cycle rickshaw, and that mindset of the consumer, that I'm carrying a Louis Vuitton but I'm not in a car, air conditioned car. So the buying side of human behavior is not only linked to the buying capacity. On the other side, the sales side of human behavior, which is the employees, the interactions, the environment, the infrastructure, also goes through so many human interactions, so many human decisions. A simple product from the manufacturing unit through the warehouses to the floor and in the hands of consumer goes through so many human touch points, that every single time when you have a human interaction happening at the product or the sale level, there are decisions to be made, and those decisions impact the final delivery to the consumer. So much of human interaction on the buying side as well as on the selling side makes this business not so easy. It doesn't make it complex, but it just makes it layered, and so many multiple layers when they move together brings multiple changes. Is one thing does not change one outcome, one thing changes in multi dimensions, many outcomes. That's how the retail business is layered, and that makes it not so easy. I continue to say it's not a complex business, but it is not an easy business. And what makes it succeed, and the third part of your question, why some people get it right, some people don't get it right,
Yes.
is the buying side of human expectation needs to be delivered consistently. So if I go to a store once in a 3 month, once in a 4 month, once in a 6 month, depending upon how big or what kind of the product it is and what kind of buying frequency it is. If my experience is changing every visit, then I will not be able to establish the brand in my mind as an ecosystem. When you look at any brand, whether it is in F&B, whether it is in apparel, whether it is in accessories or shoes or entertainment, there is an image in your mind, and that collective image in so many consumers' mind make you a brand, right? So if the delivery is not consistent and it keeps changing, the brand does not get built in consumers' mind, because I am having a different experience every time. So consistency in delivery, consistency in operation, consistency in interaction, consistency in maintaining my sale channel. The reason I'm saying sale channel, the brand gets built online, the brands get built through a multi-brand store, the brands get built through their own stores. Brands also do get built through D2C, where you're delivering directly to consumer. So whichever channel you are on, the consistency in my interaction and my buying behavior, buying experience brings in the brand building capability. So if we are not consistent in our delivery, if we are not consistent in our operations, if we are not consistent in the way we look and the way we present ourselves to the consumer, the brand will not get built. And if the brand is not built, then I am only selling a product. I am only as good as my product is for that day. And how do I differentiate my product from rest of the competition? Because if they become a brand and I'm just a product, then I'm losing the battle. So this human nature, human interaction makes it not so easy business.
Your book is titled Simple, Not Easy. If the principles of success are simple, why is consistent execution so difficult? Is it because businesses have too many moving parts, or because excellence in repetitive day-to-day work often lacks excitement?
Two parts to it, Anjeev. One, growth is a biggest threat to consistency. When businesses need to find growth, businesses need to find venues to grow, businesses need to find new kind of channels to grow, it challenges the consistency, and I will come back to that. Second, operations is by nature is a very boring job. I think in your last masterclass when Jane talked about that you start with 0 score every day morning, and then you build your score, and next day morning you can again start from a 0 score. I think it's a powerful point, because the day you wake up and you come down and the shutter is up, you're starting 0. You're going to be valued by customer on that day's performance. So it's a repetitive action. You get up in the morning, you lay down your store, you clean it, you stack it, and then throughout the day you're maintaining it, and next day morning you start with again. And compared to any other function in retail, there may be some excitement. A business development guy will have a new transaction to close, a legal guy will have a new kind of a challenge to solve, less repetitive in nature. Operations by nature is very, very repetitive. And how do you bring excitement in that? How do you do something new? How do you innovate? How do you try to grow? And coming back to my early point, that growth is a big challenger to the consistency, because growth, and in my book I have given a small formula. The growth is number of bills that you cut, the price per product that you have, and the number of items go into the bill is a simple formula of the sales volume value. And if you are going to grow, you need to grow one of the three. Either you need to sell at more points, which means you need to cut more bills, or you need to add more to the basket for the consumer, which means you need to bring more products in, or you need to increase the price and go premium, which means you are taking more money out from the same product. So between the three, when you work on all three to grow your business, you are adding more selling points so that you can cut more bills. You're trying to enhance your customer base so that you can cut more bills. You're trying to improve the price point of your offering so that you can extract more value per product. And you're trying to sell more products to the same customer. Now, when you look at these 4 parameters, more price point, bigger customer base, higher value, more products. Now, it looks like simple 4-step or 4-point strategy, but the impact of each one of them on the business and the consumer experience is very different. The more you open, the more interactions happen, the more consistency required in brand building, and it has a different set of challenges. From a 10-store company to a 20-store company, or from 1-channel company to a 4-channel company, the multipliers are not directly proportionate to the increase in sales point or to increase in the channel. The multiplier effect is far more. So you add 1 channel, you literally open 1 new company. You add few more stores, you literally add a new company. You add a new city, you are adding a new company. So complexities multiply much, much faster. So growth challenges you in that sense. Even when you look at pushing the price point up, you can't just push the price point up without changing the grooming standards of the staff. When you are playing at a certain price point, certain set of consumer facing staff works. When you improve your price point, certain different kind of customer starts coming in, a different kind of grooming standard, a different kind of interaction is required. So organization needs to change. You just can't change the price point. Display has to change, because a certain price point consumer would like to see more space around it, would like to see more options in terms of it will not be as badly stacked or as densely stacked as it can be done on a lower price point. So if you see pyramid, as the price points go up, the display density keeps coming down. You need to give more space to the product to highlight itself. So it's not easy to just change the price point. The whole store ecosystem has to change if you push price point beyond certain band. And when you try to, I will just complete that equation. And when you try to add more products into the basket, you also tend to dilute your positioning as what is that you stand for. Many players have been known for their menswear, and they have been a menswear brand, but when they wanted to expand their offering to the consumer and add more products to the basket, the woman wear brand or accessories or things like that started coming in, and that changes how consumer perceives you and keeps you in their mind, and that needs a fine tuning. That also needs to change. So growth per se is a big challenger to the consistency, and the other big challenger to the consistency is the human behavior, the need to innovate, the need to do something fresh, the boring repetitive business of operations. That's another challenger to the consistency.
Rajneesh, next question is on manpower. See, based on your leadership journey, how do simple, consistently applied principles help leaders build empowered teams, create a culture of ownership and accountability, and achieve operational excellence and sustainable business success?
So consistency comes out of human or the manpower or the team's ability to respond swiftly in a very defined manner. If management creates too many decision making layers, if they make too many parameters where a simple example, if I go to a coffee shop and I ask for a cappuccino, is a great interaction as long as I'm asking a cappuccino and the cappuccino is served. The minute it goes into a second layer of decision making size, it is a little decision to be made by me now. Is applying some science, some logic, something to it to say what size I have to buy. Now, if that is layered by another thing, another layer of saying which beans you want to buy. It can be a single origin, it can be a blended, it can be this, it can be that. Then it complexes it further. And if I add another layer of saying which flavor you want with it, then is another kind of layering in decision making. I can complex it even more, saying is it a in-house eating, dining, or is it takeaway? That's another decision to be made. So a simple cappuccino transaction can be a very simple transaction where everybody is given a takeaway cup or a cup, right, without decision making, a standard size, or it can be multiple decisions within that one decision. So if we keep our decision making processes simple, it is far easier to implement them consistently, because the human on the floor does not require any decision making process. And the minute each individual is applying a decision making process, the outcome will vary. So if processes are less in number and they are simplified, it enables team to make those decisions consistently across the board. I know what is to be done in this situation, and there is no decision making process in that. I do it, and uh, I move on in life. I know this is what is to be done. This is just one trigger and one response. So let's say each situation is a trigger, and for each situation the response is decided. So there is a consistency. It helps in clarity in communication. So is when you have only one parameter, one trigger, one decision, it communicates the business philosophy far more effectively. I understand why my company makes this decision in such situation, uh, because they want consumer to take home this message, and there is a simplicity about it. I don't have to think too many times, how do I deliver this message that my brand wants to give to the consumer, by choosing out of various options. So it brings consistency in operations. When teams know that this is how we have to respond, there is a cohesiveness, because interdepartment, interhuman, interlocation conflicts go away. There is effectiveness in communication about this is the trigger, this is the response, this is the trigger, this is the response, and hence consumer experience becomes consistent. Uh, inter-team department, interdepartment plays become consistent, and the organization is married to a vision and to a theme which is easy to understand, easy to implement. So the leaders benefit from that consistent behavior because it is understood easily across the organization. And that's the beauty of simplified operations, simplified triggers and responses that can be defined.
Wonderful. Great. My next question is with the leadership. Many people associate leadership with position and power. In your view, what distinguishes a leader who truly inspires from one who merely manages?
There are millions of books, Anjeev. If you go out Googling on Amazon about leadership and effective leadership, and leadership as a servant, and leadership as, there are many definitions. I think it's work in progress. A leader, the best I read is leader is not a title, is a verb. It's not a noun, is a verb.
Yeah.
You can be on the lowest most layer of the pyramid, and you can still lead, and you can be on the top of the pyramid and you still may not have a lead. You may not be able to lead, because just by designation you don't become leader. You become leader by your actions, and anybody can lead. Front desk executive can lead, CEO can lead, mid management manager can lead. A leader is a person who is able to create more leaders, and leader is not a person who can create followers. The one who create followers is more of a dictator than a leader. The essential role of a leader is to create more leaders. Is a service oriented mindset that is required. I think couple of qualities that I would like to develop in myself to become an effective leader. I can't say about others. Is I would like to be a person whose presence creates positivity. So I should be available to others to become better. I should be available to others to feel good about themselves and contribute more, get motivated. So how do I come across? How do I present myself? How do I look at my presence in a set of people defines whether I am looking at leadership as a position title, or I'm looking at a leadership as a responsibility and a service that I need to render.
Yes.
And I think principally leader's role is to inspire people. Leaders' role is to create more leaders, and leaders' role is to make sure that everybody around them is motivated, is willing to contribute more.
Wonderful, Rajneesh. In fact, your achievements reflect this. Now you are driving shopping malls and you are a well-respected person in the mall industry also. Anyone can build a shopping mall, but very few create places that become part of a city's social and cultural fabric. What separates a mall that simply attracts shoppers from the one that becomes a true community destination?
In different geographies, in different timelines, malls have played a different kind of role. One of the things that I have covered in the book also, that the origin of malls in
Yes.
Australia, US, and Europe will be seen differently in different backgrounds. They played a very, very different kind of role in the evolution of those societies, those economies, and the way it has impacted the trade mix, or the way it has impacted the way retailers have grown in those geographies. So if you look at US, it was more of suburban rise, more road infrastructure available, more vehicles, cars available. If you look at Australia, it was building a community because the population density is low. Farmers gathering at some place to build a society. Europe was more displaying products, and their sizes of the shopping centers are not as large as it has been in US. So India has a different take of its own. Unlike Europe, we have large shopping centers sitting in the heart of the city, though they are also part of the suburban, but they are not so outskirts of the cities. Again, our road infrastructure is not as good as the European road infrastructure is, or the car ownership is not as penetrated as it is in developed countries. So shopping center has played a different role in different societies at different timelines. If you look at India, 20 years back, there were very few brands available. When we opened Malad, most of the brands did their first EBO. We still end up discussing with our retail partners how the first EBO was opened in Malad in 2004, and hence the availability of brands was much lower. If you see, and I've mentioned that in book, then when Phoenix opened first million square feet kind of infrastructure, their tenant mix was so very different from a million square feet done today in 2025. So in 10 years, we have seen far more availability of brands, more merchandise, more kind of variety. So shopping centers are going through evolution along with the society. What creates the right community is to see where the society is heading. What are they asking for? What are their needs? In many parts of the world, neighborhood centers do very well. In India, we have not seen them performing so well. We have so far been gravitating to larger infrastructure, everything under one roof. The bigger the better has been the success mantra so far. I think as we evolve as an economy, as consumption center, more formats will find its way, and it will keep changing.
Well, looking ahead, what will distinguish successful shopping malls from the rest? How do you see the business evolving in response to changing consumer behavior? And what leadership, operational, and tenant mix strategies are essential for succeeding in Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets compared with established Tier 1 cities?
So Anjeev, as I was mentioning, so far we have seen success in size, and not alone as size, but size along with the design of the infrastructure or design of the mall. So simply designed mall, simple racetrack, simple circulation. The malls which are doing well, they are sizable malls. They also are simple designs. They are not very complex floor layouts. The ones with complex floor layouts have not been able to do too well so far. So infrastructure, quality of infrastructure, size of the infrastructure has been the mantra so far in most of the micro markets. What I am seeing happening is that as we are growing and more shopping centers are coming in, the competition in each micro market is going to get intense in next 10 to 15 years time. There will not be any micro market where you will not have a property which is competing in for the market share.
And hence market means you are talking about tier 2 and tier 3 cities?
No, I'm coming to tier 2, tier 3 separately. And when I say micro market, if you look at let's say any part of a city, like let's say Malad, the part of city.
Fine.
So New Bombay I will call a micro market, or Gurgaon I will call a micro market, or now Gurgaon has grown, so you can say there are 2 micro markets in Gurgaon. So if you look at so far, we do not have very intense competition in a given micro market. We are seeing the people who made bigger malls, simpler malls, they succeeded. They have not seen too much of challenge. Even in smaller cities, if there is a sizable mall, 2 lakh, 2.5 lakh mall, if it is simply designed, has done well. So far, the size and the design was the success factor. I think as the competition goes up, the leasing and customer experience will also get added to a differentiator or a winning formula. So you need to have right sized infrastructure, you need to have a beautiful experiential infrastructure. Then your differentiation will also come out of leasing strategy, how you position it, what kind of price points, what kind of trade mix, which kind of customers you are going to be more attractive to, and delivery of customer experience will also become very critical. They are important today. Leasing and customer experience is important today. I won't call them critical today. Today I will say mall size and mall design is a critical aspect of our business. Moving forward, along with size and design, I think leasing and customer experience will also become critical. That change I see happening in coming decade or decade and a half.
No, what do you mean by customer experiences? Could you please
the service levels, the engagement, how actively mall is engaging with consumers, how much interaction, communication, services that we provide to them, all of that will matter a lot. Coming to tier 2, tier 3,
yes.
I think those markets are little different in dynamic. Most of the tier 2, tier 3, we are trying to cater to the latent demand, captive demand of the city. These cities are because lacking the growth engine. Their decadal growth is slow, their economic growth is slow. They still have migration out of the city. Then people from those smaller cities get educated, they go to the bigger cities to work. They have a different kind of inward migration, they have a different kind of outward migration, and hence the growth potential goes down a little. The sizing of the asset there also is a little tricky. You just cannot go out and make a very large property in these markets, because one, they have a defined base of consumer, and that base is not growing very fast. Like if you look at Ahmedabad, Surat, Hyderabad, Pune, these cities are their decadal growth is in excess of 35-40%. So the population is growing 40% in a 10 years time, whereas decadal growth of these cities are late teens or early 20s. So the growth of the city is moving in a different trajectory, and hence your investment needs to be more tuned to the existing potential. You are not investing so much for the future potential. That's a big difference there. The other thing is that you cannot create a substandard product despite the business potential being low. So which means your experiential infrastructure has to be the same, because that consumer is comparing that mall to a metro mall. So your investment more or less remains same for a mall or for a retailer. Now, if retailer does a little substandard store, you will find that the consumer from that city continues to consume that brand in a metro, but does not go to the store that exists in tier 2, tier 3. So customer needs the same quality infrastructure, which means your investment is same per square feet, but the potential is lower, growth rate is lower. So the dynamic plays in a very, very different manner, and that's a challenge in itself.
So basically, the difference is not in psychographics, but in demographics. Am I right? That that creates demand and expectations.
So you're right. Psychographically, they are same. They want the same level of infrastructure. They want same level of service. They want same kind of products. But demographically, the size of the market, the growth of the market, that varies. That goes down a lot.
And the purchasing capacity also. That too is low in tier 2 and tier 3 cities if we compare it with the tier 1 towns or metro cities. So propensity to buy is missing there.
I think the volume is low, propensity is there. Some of the multi-brand stores in tier 3, tier 4, the kind of merchandise they carry, the kind of brands they carry, has been a big surprise. You go down to these multi-brand stores and you see the kind of brands they are carrying and the kind of sales they are getting is amazing. It surprises us. We have seen that in Hubli, we have seen that in Baroda earlier, we are seeing it in Vizag now. There is a customer for those price point, those products. It's just that the volume is not enough.
Okay, now an important point is premiumization. Premiumization is one of the defining trends in India's consumer market today. How do you see this trend evolving, and how can brands across different categories leverage it to drive growth while remaining relevant to their target customer?
So if you see, whenever we are talking to international players and we are trying to define what India is, the two trends that stand out always is one, rapid urbanization, and the second is rapid premiumization. These are definitely two large trends in India. As our GDP is growing, as per person income is growing, per capita income is growing, we are consuming differently, we are consuming better products. And this is not, and to me, premiumization is not happening at the top of pyramid. I think it is happening across the pyramid. On the bottom of the pyramid, you will find that a non-branded consumer is moving into a branded consumer. From a non-branded shop, he's moving into an air-conditioned, better infrastructure, better shop. So that also to me is a premiumization trend. It is not only that somebody is buying Louis Vuitton, Gucci or Coach is moving into premium segment. A non-branded consumer buying and getting used to a branded service is a premiumization trend. It does put a little bit of pressure in the middle of the pyramid. So we are seeing a growth on the bottom of the pyramid and we are seeing growth on the top of the pyramid because of that. But premiumization is definitely a trend. For a mall, premiumization is that every few years you have to bring in the infrastructure upgrade to keep making it look better, premium, more 5-star-ish. That investment is demanded and is mandated by the consumer. So on the infrastructure side, premiumization has that requirement that you have to continuously upgrade your infrastructure. It's not that you make one mall and you look at it as a 20-year investment. I think every 5 to 6 years you have to invest back into the property, upgrade it, make it look fresh, make it look better, make it look premium. That's a requirement. On the retailer side, while a brand cannot change their positioning so quickly, if I am known for certain price point, I will, and this is another thing that I have mentioned in my book in the premiumization chapter, that a brand will get customers and will lose customers because the customer will move to a more premium price point and a product quality. But to retain that customer for a longer period in your journey, I think each retailer should make a price pyramid. If I'm selling shirts at say 2400 rupee price point, I must look at a pyramid where my entry price point is maybe say 2400, but I have something available at 2600, 2700, and something should be available at 3200 also. So that, in the journey of a consumer growth, that customer starts aspiring that today I am buying this 2200, 2400 rupees shirt, but one day I want to buy this 3200 rupees shirt, and you retain that customer for longer. So for each product category, you must make a price pyramid. That also helps in a very different manner. And again, something that I mentioned in my book, that the automobiles and the mobile brands, they do it very well. They will put 2-3 variants, 2-3 different price point. The one customer may come and say, because I am who I am, I only want to buy the most expensive. But somebody else may rationalize not buying the most expensive because it doesn't give additional features which can justify the value or the cost, but may settle in for a second price point. So that play of psychology can happen, that somebody can use the premium product as an anchor pricing. So a customer who has come to buy say 2400 rupees shirt may end up buying 2800 rupees shirt because he liked 3200 rupees shirt, right? So you're playing with the price pyramid and the psychology of the customer here by using that price pyramid and moving the customer a little up into the price point and extract more. So how do you use this premiumization? Is not only to say that I move from brand A to a premium brand B, but can brand A have a premium product to hold customer for a longer time frame in the journey of consumer growing upward? That I believe is something that we can play with, and that should be part of our strategy.
Rajneesh, you write that winners of tomorrow will be those who master omni-channel harmony, using digital for discovery and convenience, and physical stores for experience and brand connection. For retailers and shopping mall developers, what strategic shifts are needed today to build that future?
Anjeev, I wrote omni-channel strategy more from the retailer's perspective than shopping malls perspective, because if you see the book, it is in two parts, and
Yes.
I wrote about it in the retailer side of it.
Yeah.
And today customer is really not bothered about what channel the consumer is going to buy from, right? I will consume on all channels as a consumer. And if your brand is available and making itself available on all channels, I will consume that brand on all channels. My consumption behavior will change because consumer chooses a channel for different needs, for different role in their life, and that is where a retailer needs to master their product curation, their price point, and their experience on each channel. Avoiding one channel is no more a smart strategy. You may delay your one channel to master because you're working on another channel, but in a short period of near future, you have to be part of all channels. You have to master each channel, because each channel will sell a different kind of product, a different price point, and somebody has to work on mastering that channel. That on this channel, consumer is connecting to me for this need in their life, and hence these kind of products, these kind of price point, these kind of colors make sense on this channel, and I will focus there more. And on another channel, I will focus on a different kind of a product range and a different kind of purpose it is serving to the consumer and in the life cycle of the consumer.
That's great, Rajneesh. Well, we had a very interesting session, but due to time constraint, it will not be possible for us to take up the questions. And I thank you. I hope all my viewers must have enjoyed it. It was really a very interesting, informative, and enlightening session. So, with this, we are concluding our today's session. Once again, I thank you, Rajneesh, for sparing your precious time and sharing your thoughts. Thanks you.
Thank you, Anjeev.
Okay, thanks. Bye.